There was once a very old river, a river that had flowed for millions of years through our country and into the sea. Everybody loved the river and used its water to drink, to water their crops, and to give to their cattle. People used the river for boating and swimming and fishing. They harnessed its power and generated electricity. They used its water in their factories and industries, and the land became rich and the people were happy. But then one day the people started to notice that the old river was changing. The water was dirty and the fish, plants and animals had started to die. The people then realized that bad things were being discharged into the river, polluting the water, and the river was being used as a dump for waste. This was the only river in the region, and all living creatures needed clean water. People got very cross and worried, but did not know what to do. And then, one day, an idea was born.
After a sleepless night, I thought, why not create awareness of the river and the value of the river and its ecology? At the next annual River Festival, why not attempt a world record by hanging thousands of shirts on a washing line over the river? I succeeded in enthusing the Vanderbilt Park Rotary Club, but we needed sponsors, and we were very fortunate to get Unilever South Africa on board as our main sponsor. The project turned out to be far more complex than I initially envisaged. Many months of planning had to be done and regular meetings had to be held.
Rosemary and I own and operate Stonehaven on Vaal. I've been with Rotary for the last 18 years. I'm an engineer by profession, and because of that I was asked to kind of manage and handle the engineering side. We managed to get some of the biggest engineering companies and rigging companies to come on board, and they were all really very enthusiastic about the project, and they were prepared to do it at no cost.
Right, I was approached by Rex Anderson stating that they would like to do a washing line across the river, and they asked me to do the basic design of the support system for the washing line. And then eventually I got involved in managing the whole erection team and organizing everything from an engineering point of view.
The concept had to be developed, and it was decided to span two 38mm cables 50 metres apart over the Vaal River next to the Buddrift Bridge at Stonehaven on Vaal. The washing line for the shirts to hang on was to be 5 kilometres of 4mm cable, strung zigzag between the two 38mm cables, but half of the river had to be kept open for river traffic.
I was part of the erection team. At first we did a simulation on a small scale of the washing line in the crane maintenance services at the rear shop. Then we pre-assembled the washing line on a soccer field. This was done to save time during the erection and to ensure that the line would fit. The continuous line was attached to the pipe sleeves that would be pulled over the thick cables. The heavy steel slabs that had to anchor the thick cables were prefabricated here as well.
At last, the erection started with 3 weeks to go to the festival. The slabs were delivered and offloaded, one at each end of the cables. After delivering the washing line, it needed to be untangled and then loaded onto a raft to bring it into a position where the thick cable could be threaded through the slides. The first cable was pulled across the river along the bridge, but not without problems. On the opposite side of the river, a 40-ton crane pulled the cable to the required tension before it was secured. A scaffold platform had to be built to provide access to the washing line for the shirts to be hung on it. The second cable had to be supported in the middle of the river by a big pontoon that was anchored to the bridge. Every morning of the week before the festival, all 5 of the Vaal Triangle Rotary Clubs brought their senior citizens for tea and cake at Stonehaven on Vaal, and afterwards they could watch the activities at the closed washing line by joining the Rotarians and their supporters. An SABC camera team conducted interviews with role players. An enthusiastic clothing committee found sponsors and donations for almost 9,000 shirts, all of which had to be unpacked and put into bags to be taken to Stonehaven.
That's it.
Once the washing line was erected and the platform built, the hanging of the shirts could commence. At first it looked a bit chaotic, but very soon things started going smoothly and good progress was made.
29 and 30 and 31 and 32 and 33.
From sleeve to sleeve.
Shirts were hung in batches of 100 and the progress was recorded. Each milestone was marked by the appropriate number on the shirt. Every day, Stonehaven on Vaal generously provided breakfast and lunch for all the helpers, which everybody enjoyed and which kept the spirits high. And then, the line was filled to capacity. When the last lines were pulled over the river, the weight of the shirts pulled the rope inwards, more than envisaged.
To lift up those cables.
Additional support had to be quickly installed.
Okay, just wait, that is stuck.
A job well done. 6,708 shirts.
Hi, I'm delighted to be here at the Vaal this afternoon for the opening of the Celebrate the Vaal event. Now, Unilever and OMO are really excited to be a part of this event. The reason being, as a business, we've committed that we're going to double the size of our business by 2020, while at the same time halving our environmental impact. But at the same time, we realize that that alone is not good enough, and we really need to help consumers to change their behavior. and for them to understand that South Africa is a water scarce country, and we really need to do a lot of work in terms of just conserving and looking after our water.
Hi there, how are you?
A programme was planned that provided participation and entertainment for all levels of the community, from preschoolers to senior citizens.
These young ladies have designed their costumes all
VIPs and sponsors were treated to a cruise on the Spirit of Gen, which formed part of a huge river parade, and all kinds of vessels cruising down the river together.
Rotary project obviously is very important for us from the point of view of raising awareness when it comes to water and water quality. We are in essence a water scarce country, so it's very important that we look after our water resources. So this is a very nice way to actually highlight the importance of water and the protection of these resources for all communities to use.
Our involvement started about 9 months ago, where we were approached by Stonehaven to lend a hand with regards to the engineering, design and conceptual modelling. And it's been quite a journey, but a huge joy and delight in seeing such a wonderful project for such a good cause come to full fruition.
I think this is a marvellous event, everybody getting together and taking ownership of the river, because this is an asset, a natural asset that we have. In South Africa, it's the most hard-working river in the country, and people must look after it.
Symbolical last shirts were hung by members of each team and the largest sponsors of shirts. Yes, we did it.
There we go, everybody do it, come on. You've witnessed something amazing today.
A classical music concert entertained patrons seated on the top deck of Spirit of Gen. Thunderbale Park is indeed a very happy club and can be proud of the record attempt it coordinated. The community has benefited from the Shirt project and will benefit again when a decision is made on the next project to be tackled with such monumental sponsorship. Certainly the community is now also more aware of the problems of our river.